Alright, let's just use this this broken mic, okay? 27 July 2026, 11 p.m. Two different clocks. Kita tahu. Anyway, Indonesia in Mama's house. The title is Two Different Clocks. How to write this story? Sorry. Grace moved into her dorm room labeled 204, expecting a friendly college experience. But by the end of the first week, she and her and her other roommate and her roommate Farah had barely spoken more than a few words to each other, mostly because their schedule seemed to exist in two entirely different time zones. Grace woke every morning before 6, quietly getting ready in the dark, careful not to disturb Farah. Not to disturb Farah, who typically didn't fall asleep until well past 2 in the morning, usually with headphones on, streaming shows together after Grace had already gone to bed the night before. It worked, more or less, for the first few weeks. Then exam season arrived, and everything about their careful arrangement started to fall apart. One night, Grace turned off her lamp at 11, exhausted after a long study session. Only for Farah to walk in 20 minutes later, turning on every light in the room without a second thought. Phone call in full swing, laughing loudly with someone on the other end of the line. Could you maybe keep it down? Grace finally asked, sitting up in the dark, unable to fall back asleep. Farah looked genuinely surprised, ending her call quickly. Sorry, I did not realize you were already asleep. You were already asleep. You are usually still awake around this time. I have an early class tomorrow, Grace said, more tired than annoyed. Though the annoyance was clearly building underneath. I have an early class too. Actually, Farah admitted, sitting down on her own bed. I just structure my whole day differently than you do. I guess the tension between them built quietly over the following days. Neither one saying much, neither one saying much, but both privately irritated. Meaning, but I'd willing to bring it up directly. It finally came to a head 3 days before finals, when Grace, running on almost no sleep, snapped at Farah for turning on the overhead light at the midnight. Do you ever think about anyone else besides yourself? Grace said, immediately the softness in her own voice. Farah looked stunned, then hurt. I did not realize I was such a terrible roommate, she said quietly. You could just told me instead of exploding at me during the week, during finals week. Grace sat down on her own bed, embarrassed by her own outburst. You're right. I'm sorry. I've just been so exhausted, and I did not know how to bring it up without sounding rude. They sat in silence for a moment before Farah spoke again, calmer this time. Can we just talk about it? Can we just talk about it properly? Figure out something that figure out something that works for both of us. They spent the next hour drafting an actual written schedule together, marking quiet hours after 10, agreeing on headphones after midnight, setting a shared understanding about warning each other before phone call before phone calls at night. It felt slightly ridiculous, writing out rules like they were negotiating a contract. But by the end, something between them had genuinely shifted. I don't think I ever actually thought it was that obsolete. Farah admitted, quietly. I video call my parents overseas most night. Time difference makes it the only hour that actually work for us, for all of us. Grass, fast- grass, grass felt something softened considerably in her chest. I wish you told me earlier. I wish I just talked to you earlier too, instead of assuming you'd get annoyed. Farah said, yes, we are both still figuring out how to actually communicate like adults. From that night forward, their mismatched schedule stopped being a source of quiet tension and became something closer to routine. Each of them adjusting slightly. Each of them a little more considerate of the other very different clock. Finals ended a week later, though, and though neither of their sleep schedule fully changed, the resentment underneath completely had. Thank you.